the Black Mirror show, and it was Twilight's episode from the '60s, but I'd never seen it before until then, and it was a new Black Mirror episode, but they had the similar experience. So it was like reality just always speaking to be
Hmm.
comforting. Like that did happen. It happens in different ways, but that's what you experience. Look.
Yeah, it seemed
Yeah.
like
Right. That's just like when they talk about aliens, and then people say, "I don't believe in aliens." That doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you believe of something that got shoulders, knees, legs, a throat, a neck, a head, a vehicle, headlights on the vehicle, steering the vehicle, making lefts and rights in the vehicle? That's everything we do. What's alien about it?
nothing. We just
What's
hey
alien about it? Cause
looking.
it look different. Yeah, it look different, but it ain't no alien because it ain't doing nothing we ain't doing.
But that's a scary
Yeah.
thing because when you say alien, now you looking at it as like a threat.
Right.
Now
But
it's a
when it's
threat.
already been here.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
think that's what most of the
Alien
movies
versus
did.
threat detection.
The movies did a lot of threat detection with aliens, because before that, it was seen as like some kind of holy figure or information that was coming from somewhere. Probably not all
Yeah.
the time though. Probably still has
Yeah.
some.
Yeah.
All right, they gonna come from the sky. We gotta hide when it's the
You
harvest
know,
season.
I actually had a time where I had an acid trip where I got taken over by aliens.
And what mannerism?
I saw a flash of light bolt through my window and I collapsed in my bed and I was blindfolded in another realm, basically. And they were dragging me through a hallway, explaining some stuff to me, and then I would blacked out, and then I woke up in space.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? If a frog can speak, it would tell that same story.
Yep,
Cause
smart frog.
we no, we're doing the same thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not. It doesn't have anything about it that proves it's abnormal. It has shoulders, neck, knees, feet, hands,
Mhm, mhm.
eyes, a vehicle, lights on the vehicle, destination points. Now, one's physics may be different than the other. No different than one's color may be different than the other. But when something hit us, we all bleed, even them.
True.
So that
Yep.
so what I'm saying is that I don't think that they're aliens. I just think that there's higher levels of intelligence that keep themselves out of the gender or the race situation altogether. And so we just so all we get is he say she say about them because they chose to keep themselves out of the awareness of their existence because they're more advanced when it comes to the understanding of the natural elements from a micro level and not a macro level. See, we just now going to a micro level through quantum physics, which we ain't even really been doing for 200 years. But imagine somebody doing that quantumly for 2,000 years. So we're not going to be the crowd that they want to hang with. We'll be more like a smart monkey, you know, to somebody like that. Even though we know how to hold guns and fly planes, it's a smart monkey. Just like
Yeah.
how we taught monkeys how to walk on tight ropes, and we taught monkeys. People in Colombia teach monkeys how to sell crack. So I mean,
It's,
at the end of the
it's kind
day,
of funny,
you
Nolly,
know,
because even when you watch the movies, like that's what they like whenever the gods is talking to man, that's what they talking to them like and calling them like monkeys. Like the
yeah,
monkeys. What's up, Master
right,
Creator? Cryo, you need to read the chat on YouTube.
yeah, because at the end of the day, you got to think what makes the next species, superior over the next.
Is
And
that the
basically,
goal though? Is the goal superiority in that mannerism? I
mm,
mean, we do that to
what?
zoo animals and stuff, but it's still
Uh,
like out that's like thinking of animals in different ways. So like say they came up with a so solidified science 30 years ago. Plants don't talk to each other.
That's
But then
crazy.
somebody's like, hold up, I'm still out here in the woods and I think something going on. Now they got their
Pivot.
scientific equipment They
Talk
say,
about
oh,
media.
plants can are communicating with each other.
Yeah, yeah, because like I said, that's why it's called the universe because it's a one harmony that's all around us, and all of us make a song. That's what I was saying the other day, that all of us make a song, but that song has information in it. It's not just
Destroyer and creator.
we was taught to hear sound from an entertaining perspective, but sound has more power than that. It has healing factors and all type of stuff. So, like I said, like when you take people like those people, like I said, those other races that's among us that don't make themselves like all the way, they may already know what's going on with carnation and resurrection as far as how to, host. So, you hear people talking about things, hosting things. Well, that that means that something has the understanding of how to do something. That's all it means when you simplify it. So if I don't have the understanding of doing it and something does, then now in my small construct of how we took the plants and that's how we named races and did everything. We started with the plants first. Now I'm taking my small concept and saying, well, they must be a superior race. But that race itself doesn't even see themselves as superior. To them, we could be inferior because we don't know. We move from a macro level. Everything we do is macro.
What if,
We look,
I got another theory too to add to it. What if we the aliens in some kind of projection way?
but see once again, you know, if
I don't
if
know.
it doesn't have shoulders and kneecaps, and you know, for it to be, it has to be able to communicate to us without shoulders, kneecap, neck, head, eyes. These are all the things that are not that's making it not alien. It don't matter. It doesn't matter how it's fastened, but if he got lungs and chest and shoulders and kneecaps, it don't matter if he gray. It's the fact that he needs tools to move around too. And so now he got his. I need a vehicle to get to the gas station. He got his spaceship. Okay, so we both got vehicles. And then it's not like all of them are following you and all of them ain't following me either. So that means you're not superior and neither am I. So that means that me and you are coming from the same space but just a different physics. Okay, I get it. So what's alien about him? So then you bring the next one in. And
Hmm.
he looked like he got a serpent head and he's got gills on him. And then they saying, what about him? I'm like, well, then once again, there's the shoulders, there's the elbows, there's the knees. Just like seems to me like another facet of man. See, man,
Yeah.
man was given dominion over the earth, and there's four dominions of the earth. There's the sky, there's the earth, there's in the earth, and there's the water. Those are the four dominions. So, in order for man to have dominion of the earth, it needs to be four men. It needs to be a sky man. It needs to be a man in the water. It needs to be a man on the surface, and it needs to be a man in the earth. That's how we have full dominion. So now that we look at dominion of the earth, and you think about the four you hear about the humanoid, which is us. You hear about the dinosaur, which is the reptile. You hear about the insectoids, which are the grays, and you hear about the aquanoids, which are these spirits in the ocean. So we all got to exist because look how big the planet is. So a mammal can't watch all this stuff. So there has to be other levels of man to be around to tend to it. So do we all have communication? Maybe we do, maybe we don't. We don't know because we're not in the areas of our people that we consider superior. So we don't know if they communicate with them or not. But one thing's for sure, I think that there's a form of relationship somewhere with us that we just, as the people, don't know because those people have a different physics than we do. So they can pump more fear than our army or anybody can. Like our army can pump fear into a man. but then they have things that can pump fear into man. So our army then fears them. So from that point, so from there, they're intelligent too, because you got to remember, it's a human, it's a man. So it may not look like me as a mammal, but it may look a little more like a reptile. But he still understands politics, the democracy, all that the same way. He and just like the fish one does, and the one in the sky, the intelligent one. So we got our CIA Central Intelligence, and I'm pretty sure they do too. And I'm pretty sure each one of our intelligence meet together and they make deals. Y'all can okay. We can offer a few bits, this many straight people a year. Y'all give us more diamond technology. Then on y'all end, y'all help us with our navigation systems. Okay. Then on our end, we'll give y'all plasma and blood. We'll create plasma and blood donation centers all over the map, and we'll get it for you. And y'all give us that because we can't get in the ground like y'all and get that. So y'all give us that, and let's make a deal. So here we go. We citizens. We're hearing about people getting abducted. We're hearing about this. We're hearing about that. And as far as we know, all the highest levels of the dominion of men, the intelligence of us, the four dominion of men, are all negotiating and doing it themselves. Like because we're all here. There ain't nothing alien about a reptilian, and there's nothing alien about a gray, because these guys depend on shoulders and knees the same way. They trying to survive just like we do, like we are. They got vehicles just like we do. Ain't nothing alien about them.
Hey, Nabi,
It just
awoken one said, but I also think there is another race of humans that we aren't told about, like the Nephilim or hybrids, but they still humans.
oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that some of them people are in the ground. Yeah, because when you look at a house, you don't think that the owners of the house will live on the roof. You don't think the owners of a house will live on the roof. So basically, when you look at your house, there's birds on your roof. So if an alien came and thought it was just birds on this planet, not knowing that inside there is you, same thing with us. We live on the roof. We the mammal people. We live on the roof. So there's some people that probably do look like us, human and everything, but just from a different cut from a different cloth of understanding and no doubt in their system and stuff like that. And they live in the earth, and they probably have a different glow about themselves and can do things and move things, and probably don't speak uh, English and things like that. But I'm not going to put it past it because we are existence and we can fasten ourselves however we want to look. So if we want to look like a three-headed man, existence will get to the point where it does it. So I wouldn't put it past no people being in the earth that look like us. Like how they said, you know, Yankee or his name Yaku or his name
Yaku,
that
yeah.
yeah, and these guys that were coming from, him being a mix of two and that were all in the earth and things of that nature. So yeah, there's stories of Agartha and things like that, and places
Hey,
where
you know
people,
what, Nabi?
pe-
I ain't gonna
yeah,
lie. I'll be thinking people hear the other stories and they come to the realization they fake and they come up with their own story.
hmm
That's
because at
close
the
to it.
end,
Cause
yeah,
like if you look at like the movies like Transformers, Indiana and the Temple of Doom and all these different movies that have all these different perspectives in them. They
yeah,
got them. They right there.
hmm
As long as that shit is story, that shit fake. If you don't know what's going on, you just don't know what's going on.
Sun
that's
Tzu.
right.
I
You
don't
know,
give a fuck.
It,
that's
and
facts.
I think a lot of the stories that we get caught up in, like the Transformers or any of these other stories, be the real stories, but they be made and put different names on it. Like it just be the same stories of old, and they just switch the names up a little bit, in order, so it'll grab the attention of the people because it's the same stories that we've been getting.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They kind of
Mm-hmm.
sort of
Like
See
don't
that?
change.
Yahweh.
Yeah, Yahweh. They just changed. They switched the name and make it another name. Like when you go and look at the what are they called, the ones that live up in Idaho and all that and shit. The
Yeah.
Mormons. The Mormons.
They're around.
And then you grab the Mormon story and then you go look at the ones that follow that what's the I forgot what fucking damn, I forgot what that shit was called. But it's like over there in like, in India or something like that. It's one of them stories. Like the stories be so similar and the same, but it's like this person it make you think of the book
It's
of
true.
Eli when they made that movie and everybody was trying to get that book from fucking Denzel Washington because they was going, if I get that book I'll be able to rule the world.
Mm.
Because the book
Like
got
the
like the
script.
best stories, the real stories, and we take those stories and we put our names in it like they did in China. That's basically what he did, and what they did over time. They took all the shit from them and they put their own shit in there and put themselves in the stories, and now the people
They
follow their stories.
they do
Mm.
that on purpose. With the before Yahweh it was Baal. And
Yeah,
Baal was ruling everywhere. And
yeah,
then the Israelites was like, no, no, no. We got
yeah,
one God to rule them all. One ring to rule them
yeah. Because if,
Yeah.
if if my if I come and I conquer y'all, your gods wasn't shit.
all. They can
That's
destroy them
basically
Mm-hmm.
statues.
your God wasn't shit. Couldn't have been. Cause he let us come in here and take over everything. But I said,
And the thing
damn.
that they did to the assimilate too was they take some of the qualities because of how people minds work and the story that's always is being told overall. It's just like a layer of I got you some M&Ms, then I
Yeah.
took you to the candy factory. You know how it's made. You
Mm-hmm.
make your own and stuff like that.
I think that's
Yeah.
what it is anyway, Ty. I think that's what the stories is for. The stories is basically just to give us a little ease on life and what life is, because we don't
Mhm.
fully understand it. So if I can
Yeah.
make it easy for you I give you this belief system and make life easier for you and give you some hope and have you build a reality outside of the reality you living in, then you'll be good. Cause you ain't tripping off this life. You waiting for the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's you know, every all roads lead to the slide. No matter what you believe in, no matter who you call yourself, no matter what you call God's name, no matter how many gods you say that you discovered, none of that's gonna stop you from going down that slide.
I
The
think you.
monks that's
I think
the
that's
monks
what you
that's in the
should.
mountains,
The way you should say it is all roads is on the slide.
yeah, they're
Nah,
on
but
the
they all
slide.
on the same slide.
All on the slide. The monks that's way up there, and people like, man, look at those monks, man. The slide is over there, like, and he's over there, like, when y'all get through meditating, I'm gonna be right over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing.
When the monks is
So
going down the slide, they going, hey, if you hold your arms straight out, you'll slide
right,
down easier.
right. So if I say the left side of me and the right side of me, they gonna look at my left arm, my left foot. I mean, my left leg, my left foot, then
Yeah.
vice versa. So when you talking about like
Said our God
the
wasn't
two
finished.
sides of things. Like the two sides. It's just like this. It's like people are trying to believe in things. Like so, it's like the left and the right. So in the middle is the truth. So if I look at the word believe, in the middle is the word lie, because that's what you got to do to yourself to attach yourself to something that has no real it has no real effect on the fact that you live, you die. It has no effect on it. So if I keep like instead of using my common sense for my life and I go into things that I believe in my life, then I don't get to experience. my passion and my desire from me just being in existence, and how I'm experiencing myself on the earth, because I've attached myself to so many beliefs. Now I done picked up other people's characteristics and other people's behavior, because it's just like this. Like a guy, I was talking to this guy and he was like, yeah, what do you think about people that forget where they came from?
Stop
And
suffocating.
and so I told him, I said, well, the majority of us already forgot where he came from. Then he said to me, he said, well, I didn't forget for, I'll tell you, for my hood, it's just, I said, that's what I'm saying. You think where you came from was a street sign, a corner, some grass, and some cement. You didn't mention nothing about your great great grandfather. That's what I'm telling you. You forgot where you came from. You didn't
Yeah.
replace your great great grandfather for a street sign, a curb, and some grass. So we all didn't forgot where we came from. Every time somebody say, "Well, I ain't forgot where I come from," this neighborhood and that neighborhood, that's a sure sign that you
Yep.
forgot where you came from.
People
Yeah,
used
you
to get tribal
exactly.
tattoos. Now they get just their
Master
street name
Creator. Some
tatted.
people like
Because where you came from
Master
was your
Creator.
great
Look,
great
I'm gonna bring that
grandfather's
to you.
struggle and your great great grandmother's struggle. That's where you came from. And if you don't have no knowledge of that, you already forgot where you came from. The street sign
Mm.
can't replace your great grandfather. So what somebody should say to you is like, remember where you were, don't do you remember where you came from, and do you talk to people but to say to forget you came from, most people already forgot where they came from, because
That
they're not
comes
doing
before.
nothing because they're not doing nothing that their great great grandfather had in mind.
But them the ones that kind of try to show you, and then I don't know, bro, because every generation I see say the next generation is not like their generation. I
Right.
hear my older uncles and stuff say this all the time, and I say, you still here. You part of
Yeah.
this generation. You helped make this generation.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
whatever this
Yeah.
generation is, they came from y'all.
Yeah. But see, we read about people, the books that we read about people that don't forget, you know, like who their great great grandfather and who they attached to and their duties in life. We read about these people. When we read about the past from 1,000 years ago and all that, we read about people who didn't forget where they came from.
Yeah.
So their purpose was strong because they knew who they were. You know what I'm saying? And knew what they had to do based on their grandfather and things of that nature. So there wasn't no unemployment line.
Yeah, but if you
You
think
know,
about it though, Nabi, look, just think about this, right? Like it like if my the program that my dad was on and the program my grandpa was on, the program it constantly updates just like us. So
yeah.
if I go off the same program that they're going on and times is changing, then I'm not changing with 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 life. I'm trying
No,
to stay.
yeah, I see what you're saying. No, it's not about you. It's not about you staying in the past with it. It's about you recognizing what they stood for, and then
Yeah,
seeing
yeah,
the, adding that into what you stand for as you go through the new channel and the
Got you. I'm gonna show it to
modernization
you.
of who they didn't get a chance to be.
Yeah,
You know, like, because that's who we are to our grandfathers, and we're the chance that they didn't get. We are the people they didn't get a chance to be. So that's where, when you recognize, like my father and what he did, I didn't try to go do the same jobs as my father or my grandfather, but I recognized what they was trying to do when it came to the family and stuff like that. So that's what I wanted to make sure that I kept instilled in myself, because that, they live for that. And so since I got that DNA, I'm a modern version of them. The
yeah,
world,
yeah. Exactly,
you
exactly,
know, I'm a
exactly.
modern version. I don't do nothing the same as they did, but I understand the laws of how what it took for them to make my family's last name survive, because they was the men behind it.
Yeah, Yeah,
You see what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But like
But,
a lot of us, like we will try to do like them or try to do better at than them.
right,
And
no,
like, how do
no,
you get
yeah,
around that? Because you look at like like what your parents went through, and you go, man, I got to do better than that.
right, yeah, yeah. You see, the first of all, that's the point. Like like if you look at the birds in the tree and the eagle, and so the bird will be born, and then the eagle will bring it food and things of that nature. Then it reach a certain age where the eagle will start recognizing that it don't want to fly out, and the eagle know that it's been watching him come back and forth bringing stuff. So eventually the eagle starts pulling up the thorns in the nest. And so if the birds could really give him the choice, either get out and fly, go find something, or get stuck with the thorns. So the eagle will come back and the bird will still be in there. So he'll pull up more thorns, and he'll pull up more and more until the bird has really no choice but to either go fly out of there because or die in there. Sometimes they die in there, sometimes they fly out. But
Yeah.
the moral of it is the eagle ain't trying to get him to be him. He's just trying to get him to understand, this is what we are, this is what we do. Like I said, we all forgot. Some people forgot where they came from because that sternness in the house ain't there no more. Like with the men, it ain't there only because they're steady forgetting the men before them. So I don't care about my daddy. I don't care about you. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you ain't recognizing what you're doing. You're putting yourself out here blind when you don't look at the mistakes they made and make that work for you. To where you recognize what not to do or whatever it is. You instead you're detaching yourself from it. Well,
Yeah.
you now you're forgetting where you came from.
Yeah.
See, a street
Yeah.
sign don't make it where you forget
Yeah.
where you.
I get what you said.
Yeah,
I get what you said now.
yeah,
Master Creator
yeah.
said, he said, how about if our grandparents was on the wrong program, just as we fell for for the okey doke, what makes them exempt of falling for the okey doke
Right,
of
right.
their lives, of
Well,
their
exactly.
times?
Just like I said. Long as you have the knowledge that they fell for the okey doke, then you know how to be sharp enough for your bloodline not to fall for the okey doke, and that way you break that reality in the bloodline to come after you because the young ones gonna see you and you broke that. So having no knowledge of it, you may be repeating things that they doing.
But that's the scary part, right? Right there, what you said. That's what I started realizing. The more I tried not to be like my parents, the more I ended up being exactly how they were and doing the same things they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's that you know that they still blood related, like they're blood related, plasma related, air related.
Yeah.
Because all our mothers was getting air, blood, and plasma when they had us, and so when we came out, we was connected to them through that too. So information that they had and things of that are in us too. So every now and then we may get into an emotion that we may not understand because it's coming from an emotion that one of them had when they went through something. And so we may not understand what it is, but if we get more understanding about our parents, then you understand more about your own behavior. Then you start checking your own self, like, oh, okay, yeah, because yeah, okay, see that, but see now that I'm here, no, I don't want it. You see what I'm saying? But if you
I
don't,
can't do nothing but
if
laugh
you,
because that's real. Because once you
you know
start
what
to
I'm saying?
recognize it, you go, God damn.
Right,
And you
right,
begin to change it.
right. Even if they were fucked up.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I'm
even
sorry. I mean, messed up. I'm
because they
sorry.
was messed,
Even if
they was fucked up, but at the
yeah,
same time, they always gave you the good shit.
gave you and then but you recognize they was like that. Not only recognize they was like that, but recognize how they got like that. Look at that chain, so you knew not to do certain things that would affect your family, anybody that you touch. None of that would be in you. So that would be a lesson instead of a loss.
That's
You
fucking
know, your
crazy.
your absent father can be a lesson or a loss. It's up to you to make it that. because it can be a loss in you saying, "Well, I ain't got no dad. I ain't got no dad." That means you ain't learning from the experience of not having one.
Yeah, but like me not having
It's
no
still an
dad, I think
experience.
that's what made me be close to my kids.
Yeah,
More than I was, as they were young and coming up. It made me closer to them.
yeah,
But
yeah.
at the same time, I still made some of the mistakes he made without even knowing that it was going to happen. You know what it
Right.
remind me of? I know you seen Love and Basketball.
Yeah.
Remember when he got mad at his dad because his dad cheated on his mom?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then he turned around and then he started doing the same shit his dad was doing, sleeping with other
Hmm.
women while with the
Hmm.
like
Right. Because he didn't analyze where he was coming from. So that's what I mean by we all in some kind of way then forgot where we came from. He thought I was talking about street signs and corn.
I
But
did
I'm
too.
talking about where you
Not
really came from.
I didn't think what you was talking about street signs and corners, but it was like close to that. It was
Right.
close.
Right.
That's what you be
Yeah,
thinking.
that's what he was saying. I said, yeah. I said we didn't replace where we came from with where we really came from, the men that we came from, then to street signs and cement and grass.
Yeah.
We don't even bring their names on. You got a Tupac shirt on, but you ain't never had a shirt on with your great grandfather on.
I see. I carry my grandfather's name, so
So no, I'm not saying you or nobody. I'm
no,
just
no.
saying
I
like,
know, man. I always gotta
yeah,
anything anybody say. I ain't gonna say it. You're as you're saying it. I gotta take it as me. I'm
yeah,
looking at
yeah.
myself. I can't look at everybody else.
Right, right,
You
right.
helping me look at me.
Right. That's what I be meaning though, true. When I say we kind of all forgot where we came from, cause that same dude that was telling me, man, I ain't gonna never forget the hood and rap sheet. That's what I'm saying. You think where
Yeah,
you came from is a hood? That's what I'm saying. You've
yeah.
already forgotten where you came from.
You already forgot. You
You
already out there. Exactly.
You've already forgotten. What
Damn.
do you mean?
I
You
got
know what I'm
Fres.
saying?
Look, I got Fresno tattooed on my back.
Yeah, because that's where you at. That's where you was
Yeah.
at.
That
That
ain't where
wasn't
I
where you
came
came
from
from.
though.
Yeah, yeah, that's where you was at.
But that ain't where I came from.
No, that ain't where you came from. Those men are where you came from. Because you got to remember, you was born into the circumstance. You didn't have it. You didn't pay rent soon as your mother had you, and you came home from the hospital, and your name was on the rent. No,
Yeah.
you was born into their circumstance.
In
So
today's
that's where you came from.
circumstance. And
Right. So
and
that
it,
means
and
that's
it's
where you
wild
came from.
because a lot of people when you be talking to people and you be giving them game, they look at other people, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I look at me. I'm looking at
Yeah.
me as you talking. I'm going,
I do
goddamn,
this
but
for a living.
yeah, I like.
Yeah.
I guess
It's
why
what I
that's
do.
why I feel it so much. You feel me?
It's my job.
Fire for life.
I said to myself, not a preacher, not a teacher, none of these things. I'm just that's why I just consider myself as an elder person that has enough experience on things that I can only talk in that perception of
Yeah.
my experience and what I've gathered in my 54 years and the mistakes, and
Damn.
that's where
I thought
the
you was younger
understanding
than
of
that.
us.
Navi.
Huh?
I thought you was.
Hmm?
I thought you was like barely hitting 50.
Nah, I'm 54.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm fit. Remember. Phil. I used to always say Phil was my little bro. Remember?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Remember?
He a
Because
hard head.
Phil will be about 52 right now. Yep, he'll be about 52 right now. And, but yeah, God rest Phil, man. We was always talking about those shadow people, and uh, uh then when he had passed, and more people started talking about the shadow people, and I was like, dang, I wish because I had been talking about them for years, like where before. He like, man, where you getting this information? I was telling him about it, the shadow people, because you know they are real as can be. They before you think about aliens, you better recognize them. They real as can be,
I
and the
I ain't
shadow.
gonna. I think they the like the your ideas and your thoughts and shit. I don't think they too much further than that. I ain't gonna.
They are a they are a parallel reflection of yourself
Yeah,
living in the same moment, and they are you, and they shadow people. They just and some of them sometimes it be you, and sometimes it be others, but they're here and they exist and they
what
always existed.
what if they was like the other generated realities that you generate over time? Cause you know
It's
how you
weird because
create multiple realities like every moment. Like you
yeah,
generate and multiply like many of them, like so many different circumstances at a time. Like if you're
yeah,
going for a job interview, you got the one where you see yourself getting the job, then you got the one where you see yourself not getting the job. Or you see
right,
yourself flashing on the motherfucker while you there. You got all these different ones and they're existing as you're going along with time. So it's like, what if that shadow is that reality of that circumstance happening?
right, right.
I'm
I
just
don't
saying,
know
I don't
because
know. That should
yeah,
be
I don't know
crazy.
either, brother. I just know that one thing I do know that seen people have seen these things and they talked about them, from way back, um, I don't know if they came from Saturn or something like that, but it would be make sense judging that Saturn is a place that doesn't really have a surface like that. It would take a shadowy kind of being to exist there, and so yeah, those people,
Yeah, it's
those are
wild because when you take mushrooms, a lot of times, like if you pick up your phone, that's when you can see them clearly, like any light.
yeah,
Like say if you in darkness and you pick up something that got light to it, like they gather around and they be looking at the light for some reason.
it's a weird phenomenon. They are just like
Yeah,
they a weird phenomenon. Like cannibals, like because there's all type of places in America where cannibals live under the city and they know it, but they allow it. It's kind of like if you look up the cannibals even in Nebraska, they have them in Nebraska, and but they don't. They're like these people, just like on the movie Descent. It's like them kind, like not in many states where the government know they down there, but they not coming out trying to kill nobody. They're not trying to do nothing, so they don't bother them.
yeah, they just leave them alone.
See,
What the fuck, though? How you gonna be a
yeah,
cannibal but you ain't killing nobody? It would like be like some Jeffrey Dahmer type shit.
they be eating animals and stuff,
Cause
rats
you,
and
cause you still got
possums
people in
and
the Amazon that are cannibals that like that do
oh
that
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah, you do. Because at the end of the day, uh, right, good or evil doesn't change the sly ride. That's what people got to recognize. Sister Betty go to church for 50 years, her whole life, and she still got to go through there. So she's no different than the sinner when it comes to the slide.
Yeah, when she get to the bottom, she gonna be like, I went to church all
Yeah,
these years and just go on past through. We heard every
but-
story already.
yeah,
It's not a story we ain't heard yet.
yeah. So there's people that know that they can't escape the slide ride. So this was some people. You got 5% of the world that does this. They say, okay, well, let me live out my purpose and my dreams. That way, when that day comes, I'll be waiting on it. Then you got some people in the world, another 80% of the people that feel like, um, well, when that time comes, because they don't understand that in those times you will regret time that you wasted, but you don't feel it now because you ain't going through that. But then there's a 5% that know about that, and so they're living life to the fullest, and no matter what you think about it, because they know that uh, there's law, there's man and everything, but nature don't judge nobody. It kills us all. It kills the good man and the bad man
It don't judge nobody.
at all.
No, how you said earlier, you said it don't care about your skin color, your religion.
Nothing, nothing. It kills us all. That dude could have lived his whole life being good and said, man, I'm never going to be bad, but you still got to go down that slide. And then that dude can say, man, I'm going to be bad all my life and never be good. It doesn't. Death doesn't care.
Don't even,
I'm a vegan. Death doesn't care. I'm a Muslim. Death doesn't care.
I'd love
So
to hear what
so
you think happens after death.
well, it's not the point of what happens after death. It's the point of knowing it's going to happen. It's just like the kids who don't cry when it's time to leave the carnival, and the kids that do. See, the kids that don't cry know already that their parents will bring them back. You know, and then the kids that do cry, they crying because they act like they're not coming back or never gonna come again. So they start crying, but not realizing it was never meant for you to be here forever. You know, yeah, you enjoying yourself, but now you're like, I want to stay, I want to stay, I want to stay. The same thing a human would do in the body, but it was never meant for you to be here forever. So why are you living like you're gonna be here forever? Like if you got dreams and desires and purposes, why are you not fulfilling them? Because you're going down the slide, whether you fulfill them or not. So the least you can do, us, I mean me and anyone else, is to take it with a smile because it's for everybody. So since it's for everybody, everybody got to die. That's one thing. But they didn't. But it doesn't say that everybody got to die in pain. So everybody does die. It does take us. But how we go through there, it can be many ways. It's people that fulfill their all they everything, and then they just can't wait to leave. They ready to leave. He's 90. He done everything he wanted. Then there's people who life that get cut short, and the doctor tell them something, and now they're thinking about all these things they wish they would have did. Yeah, because now you recognize that the truth is, whether you're a good person or a bad person, it doesn't matter. You're going to die, and so the things that you desire and the things you have passion for are the things you're supposed to get to, because that's why you're
It's
here.
kind of like that authority in itself, like doing what we think we need to do, and then I could always I could have my rules or not. I could say my rules are these, and then I can bend or break my rules, but then we forget. It's like nature's not. Hold on, one more second. No, no, wait, one more
Yeah,
second. I'm reading this book, nature. Hold on.
yeah, let me finish
But
yeah.
that
reading this.
tiger's coming.
I feel like when
But the
people,
Like
sun
if
is
you,
setting. It's like you don't have any more light to read.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's like a person that don't want any trouble. And so, but every time they go around people, they act like they tough. So what happens is, instead of them being honest with themselves, so the universe don't know no better. So the universe is going to act off that intention to act like they're tough. That's their intention. So the universe will bring situations to them for them to prove it.
yeah,
And
prove
over
themselves.
again, they will be in situations where people see that they're not tough.
What's up, Joe Crow?
And the universe is only doing that because it's trying to force them to be themselves. And if you're really not tough and you move around the world like you're not tough, you're not going to have problems. If you move around the world like you're something that you're not, then you get the results of something that you're not. So
Nah,
it, it so
Master. Oh no, let you finish first. Go ahead.
I was
Let,
gonna say that it's just like people that may be in a relationship, and then then the relationship happen real fast, and then they say, man, it just didn't work. And then you ask them like the things that you did with her, and the things that you was those things that you heard your homeboys was doing too, or
Yeah.
were those just your natural ideas?
Nope, it's what they was
Was you trying
doing.
to do things with her that you heard on songs and things like that, or was you doing things with her from your natural ideas? Because you know, because if you was, let's say you was acting out some role on a record or a movie show, and she may run into five other dudes that do that. So then you
Facts.
know, she know where she could tell that you're not that person, but she ain't gonna tell you. So next thing you know, she's not calling, and now you're like, man, she ain't calling me no more. Yeah, because she already read through your disguise. You know, women have a heart full of secrets. When a man has a man has a mind of lies, and a woman has a heart full of secrets.
Yeah, I
So you
feel.
got these so
You
you
got.
got these women that know how to not tell you, and they'll live with you and not tell you. They'll move on from you, not tell you. Try not, but they just won't tell you. Like really, I
Yeah.
noticed that you wasn't being yourself.
Yeah.
I know the
Master
nigga you trying to act like.
Master Creator said, I feel like when people do more good than bad, they have an easier death, rebirth than those who was living real foul, but I don't know. It's just a
Exactly.
thought.
No,
Well,
I know what he
here's the
mean. I know
dealio.
exactly what he mean. Let me say this real fast. I know exactly what he mean, because people that take hot baths have a different experience than people that take cold baths. So in between, if you've had a hot bath and a cold bath before, now you can sit outside of both of them and choose which ones you're going to take. So it's just like a person that's done right and it's a person that's done wrong. So then they choose which one they're going to continue to do. So because each one of them going to have an effect, just like the hot water makes him hot, but the other dude good. Same thing with the cold water. It's cold to him, but it makes him feel good. That's the same thing with being an evil person. Like, yeah, you choosing to do that. So what comes with that, you're gonna get it. Same as being a good person. You choose to do that, you're gonna get what comes with it because both of them are equally available. And so you sit in the middle of them and you make the choice because one is not better than the other. It's just which one feels better to you. It's the opposite one is what you're gonna call evil. It's the one that don't feel good to you. Evil is just merely something that doesn't feel good.
Is
Yeah,
there
that
worse
was a
evil
deep
then?
one when you talked about that last time. That was deep.
Is work evil?
Yeah, because it make me think about when they first came upon chocolate and they seen the natives eating chocolate and cocoa and shit like that. They said it was evil. They said no, we ain't fucking with cocoa. That shit is evil. And now look where it's at now. Everybody likes
Hmm.
chocolate. Theo, you always talk about
Yeah,
chocolate. Get the cocoa, the
yeah,
cacao, the
Chocolate
cacao.
is the best drug, except for weed.
yeah. Because you can't even make. If you look up our chocolate products, it's got a small piece of brain in it. You gotta look it up, and chocolate has that in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, I
but
mean,
they
we do stuff, like we do weird stuff because we understand science and chemistry. So us as humans, we do weird things. But the problem with that is whether there's no reason trying to stop them because they have the choice on this simulation to
Yeah,
do what they
and I
want to
mean,
do.
there's really
If
no
they want
way.
to be
Like,
evil, they can be evil because
and,
they still gotta die. That's what the simulation let us know. It don't matter what ride you choose to ride, y'all got to get off of here. You
and
know.
there's really no way to describe like to anybody what it's gonna be. Even we don't know like how it could be.
Well,
All the possibilities.
no, just
Yeah.
like the carnival when it
Well,
closed, nobody knows how the carnival is once it's closed. Like no kid is. So what did you? So what do you know about the carnival once it's closed down? You don't know. Same thing with nobody knows that once we come out the body, what happens? We just know that the carnival closes, and we also know that we come out the body. The part that what happens after that, it doesn't matter. It's the
yeah.
reality that we do know that comes before that, and that is the fact that we all come out the body. Like,
I've got a
I
theory.
remember when death was just something I saw on TV. And then it started happening around me. And then it started happening to family members. Then it started happening to my immediate, to my own son. Then that's when I started recognizing what it is. Like, oh wow, it
Well,
don't matter. It don't matter.
we've had people come back in different. You can point to multiple stories to where there's the experience gained and wisdom can be given from that trip to quote the other side, like out of body experiences. Kids that come back and know where their murderer had the weapon that killed them. Ascended beings who come back and choose to come back and tell about their past lives. Even the Buddha was talking about all his past lives. So I can understand the viewpoint of not knowing where it's going to be, but there's a lot of information out there if you were going to look for that information.
I seen myself rising from the man, as I stated years ago, but I don't know his life was. But I remember that when I was 2 years old. I still remember that. But what his life was and who he was, no, I don't know none of that. But I seen him. I got the story online on my YouTube channel. And
So that's kind of just it. It's like somebody could be looking to be like to pick up on something. Like if someone's really looking to hear what it's going to be like, they're like, I want to walk down this path because I think this will get me the treasure. And then are they really looking to? Is it like reverse engineered? It's kind of a bias. They think it's the best path already, so they're only looking for answers that people are going to say that's the right path.
yeah.
But then, or it could be someone who's really looking for a certain answer to say it's not the right path. And then there could be someone who's just fully turned on as a life, somebody who's just listening in general or seeing everything. There's many ways to see what's going to happen or to transfer the data for sure.
Yeah.
Simply, the easiest way to say it is do life tastefully. I mean, if it's distasteful, whatever that means to you in your individual
What does that
ways
mean
of
to you?
being. So, like, if you're choosing a life of chaos or a life of simplicity, whichever one's tasteful more to your energies is what you honestly want, right? So you should go for that
I'm
rather than
hearing
just
like
something that you're
music.
not compatible with.
Because
Yeah.
some jazzy people would say it's more tasteful to not play a drum fill right there, but then the heavy metal head would say you got to
It's
do
always
triple
based on who
rolls.
you are. Because
Yeah.
most of the time we're just doing whatever we feel like doing based on our predilections, anyways. Even if it is to do the thing we don't want to do, which is the hard thing.
And even zodiac sign and all this
Go ahead.
13th month and that's why they did all that. They just because what symbol was the serpent was a snake. So when they took it out, then that personality and that nature that's in the earth don't have nothing to identify with. So the rest of the world calls it evil. But it did have its own symbol and everything, just like an Aquarius or a Gemini. That nature of what we call evil had its own symbol too. The oculus or something, or the Ananaculus or something, but it was a snake symbol and it was the 13th zodiac sign. So they took that away. So now you got these people that have this nature around the earth that we call evil, but that we don't know that it's a natural behavior because it has a zodiac just like the rest of the zodiacs, meaning that since it was avoided and not looked at, now it has been chosen as the inferior behavior. So that's why we call it evil. When you see the people drinking the blood and eating the blood and the sacrifice and all that, because that comes from the ancient times of that symbolism where the information was in the blood. So they figured if they ate the blood, they can know what was going on with the tribes and stuff like that. The same thing with the demons that would host the bodies. It was all about getting closer to the blood. Everything was about blood. When the gods came, um, back then, the gods didn't want the brain; they want the blood because through the blood they can know what's going on. When God came back about Adam and Eve, I mean, it came and said, "Where's your brother?" I can hear his blood talking to me from the ground because the blood has the information in it and it speaks a language. So that's why they would go for the blood. So that whole zodiac is no longer around, and so now you got a whole uh, uh, millions and millions of people that display evil behavior, but it's a natural behavior. But so us as the other signs choose not to deal with that. You know, we all have a little bit of it in us.
Yeah, with that officious thing, it was I went by a couple rap names in the past, but most of them was based off of serpents and stuff and other things I was interested in. And then later in life, I learned about the 13th sign. Well, in this lifetime, about 13th sign. And then saw that mine was really officious or opicious, however you say it, and not Sagittarius in actuality. And it was
Hmm.
the serpent and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, I
Yeah, it was.
understand now, Theo.
Hmm. It's a natural nature. That's why they have to have a villain. In order to have a superhero, you got to have a villain because you have to have that natural nature, both natural nature, so people can make a choice. There's people that grew up that wanted to be Popeye, and there's people that wanted to be Brutus. It just the nature. It depends on your nature. Some things that are funny to me ain't funny to the next person because of our nature. That's all it
And
is. And today is just nature and your choice. Your choice to what makes you feel good. Because anything that don't make you feel good, you're going to identify it with wrong, not right, evil, hateful. You're gonna give it different titles like that. Because at the end of the day, what
When
you're
you put the
titling
evil
those
on
things
it, it's over though, Nobby.
don't agree with you.
When you put the evil on it, it's over. It's over. You already chose.
Hmm.
yeah, that's
Real
not being
Yeah,
shit.
receptive or inclusive to whatever experience that person is going through. That hierarchy or those labels that we put onto it can can stop us from seeing the thing how it is.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
13, you guys are talking about. I was born on Friday the 13th, so I wanted to know why don't we have 13 levels in our buildings? Why do we think 13 is a bad luck? Well, there were some Knights Templars that got burned to the stake in I think 847 AD on a Friday the 13th, and from that day we started saying that 13 was a bad number. But
Curse
there's
that nigga.
13 there's 13
That's
moon
you.
cycles.
That's you.
Women menstruate or ovulate on the 13th day of their cycle. So 13 is actually like represents, you could say, a divine feminine aspect. And you can
Yeah,
kind of see
correct.
that in our culture to where certain
Mary Mac.
aspects of the woman were looked at as evil or bad or, should be shunned or should be clothed or should be put away. Like, and so
Yeah,
coming back into that balance with the receptivity, we can start to accept the things that other people might say is evil and then look at it for what it is instead of how they're seeing it. Let me go get that answer instead of what everybody else says.
right. Because Mary Magdalene was the 13th disciple, but she don't get looked at it like that. No different than you know how the serpent was looked at. It was a situation of this is what happens. When somebody tells the truth. If somebody tell the truth and you know the truth, you're not supposed to know the truth because if you knew the truth, you'd try to kill yourself. So you see what happens when you read the book of Adam and Eve. Once that Adam knew the truth, he tried to kill himself. He was jumping off the cliffs. He was trying to smack his against bricks to come out of the body. And so God would lift him, and even Eve would say, "Please forgive him, for it was me that." And then she started trying to do it because they knew the truth. Knowing the truth, meaning like, oh, so this ain't the end game. Oh, the body ain't me. Okay, let me crack it against this rock and try to get out. And God would see him doing it. This is coming from the book of Adam and Eve. And so when he would see him doing it, and he'll lift him back up and make him. He said, "No, you're gonna live and die now." Because you shouldn't know the truth. See, you didn't know the truth, so that means death meant nothing to you, and so that means you wouldn't even have saw it coming, and you wouldn't even have thought of it. But now you know the truth, and that this can happen, and so now that you know that, you live through it. So now we only living through it and conscious of it because we wanted that truth. We wanted, they wanted it, and now we got it. Got the truth. Yeah, you die one day. Okay, see, you didn't know that at first, but now you do. Now you don't know how you gonna. So y'all can come up with your stories like y'all saying the ship gonna come get y'all to heaven, whatever y'all want to come up with. But The truth, y'all found out the truth, didn't y'all? That you gotta die to live. So that means that we're just like
Exactly.
we're the, so now that we're just like the other ones, like the serpent, like the fish, and like the bird. We just like them. The difference is we gotta die to live. Like this our second birth, and then once we come out of this one, then we live it. Same thing with a serpent. It has a baby in the body first, then it comes out to the second one. It's the egg. That's the second. Then it comes out. Same thing with a fish.
Hey,
It has the body, the egg in the body. That's the first. Then it comes out. That's the second one. Then it comes out the egg. Then it goes. Same thing with a bird. It has the bird in its body. Then it lays an egg, and then in there it has a birth again, and then it comes out the egg. And so we're the same way. Only thing
hey, now
difference in
you
us,
got me.
we we are fully awake in our second egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, you was going in
Yeah,
and
yeah,
out,
about the
Josh.
awake thing too in the second egg, you had me thinking about for whatever all religions and teaching systems are, what Christianity gave the people in some ways, and a lot of African religions too, and traditions, and finding the divine within yourself. And when they talk about the being reborn again, I'm born again and stuff. And most people would just say, oh, you gotta accept Jesus Christ, then you born again. But I think it has to do too with that new perspectives on lives, and even what perspectives and memories come from, like opening those floodgates in the DNA to like then be able to like know what grandpa did, or even what somebody that was like a hunter gatherer in the DNA was doing, or somebody another reality that was working on, I'm just going out there right now, but on it working on technology or experience stuff, and then they brought it here or wanted to do it here too. Oh, I had this dream we was working on tech like this, and it's kind of similar to this, and just so many different ways.
Yeah, it is. It is so many different
But like
ways.
being reborn though, just being reborn in this
See,
body, because it's not just the body as we see it as, but it's way
yeah,
more.
we messed up when we got a little dose of the truth. So now uh, that same thing is messing us up right now with the internet, the worldwide giving us the everybody. There's a lot of truth on there again. So now that same thing is opening people's eyes up the same way it did Adam and Eve's eyes, and just how they bit on the fruit. That's what people gonna do too. They're gonna bite onto what they're hearing, and then they're gonna not. This is might be our last like president that of the United States, not because of none war, not, it's just because of the generations that's coming will
Yeah,
have no need for it.
yeah, for no president.
They're not going to respond to it. They're not going to respond to
Yeah,
uh, any of the things that
it
we
does.
tradition will be
It
no
just was
more.
created 300 years ago. Who said God lasts forever? Well, at least in the way that it's been regulated now. But
Yeah,
change does come massively or very slowly, depending on the turmoil of the people.
right. See, so I'm saying that there's a controlled change and there's a natural change. Like nature has this way of making things evolve, and so does man. Sometimes man speeds up evolution by fear, and man uses fear as a tactic to get into our minds so that way he can seem like he's helping us with a solution that only moves us into a lower order. And that's been the trick from the beginning
From the
of those that
beginning.
are in high places. So here we go again. um, a while back I was telling you guys go check out that Beyond the Reset, this animated thing, because now here we are. Them drones are flying around, everything that's on there, because they'll show it to you in many ways, but it's their way of saying like we don't bluntly have to tell you the truth. That's why we made science fiction. Because when I was a kid, um, I watched Star Trek, and I see the woman with the blue tube in her ear. I see Spock with the cell phone, the sliding doors. None of this stuff exists at this time. And sure enough, all that stuff is here.
Right now.
And so So when I look at the hologram that's on there, I'm like, yeah, we got to that point too. We just haven't figured out how to make the original on the other side. We only know how to make a duplicate on the other side. So we're getting close to that too. So that would tell me that science fiction is a good way to tell you the truth through a scripted event, like make it animated and scripted, and
Yeah. A
you
lot of
know,
forms of art is like that. Being able to be the rebel or the resistance to what's going on, and how they say a lot of artists lose their true heart, but really they just like talking about that, bringing forth something that seemed like it wasn't here before, that's changing
Yeah.
the
yeah,
system, a new perspective from
It's
somewhere.
kind of wild, Ty, because they they make people think that the truth tellers are not welcome, and it's like, nah, we gotta have the truth tellers. They gotta have the truth tellers because the truth tellers is telling you what they already telling you in the movies and shit.
right,
Yeah.
right. We all knew the truth. That's what I'm saying. That like if they just said, all right, we're gonna give it to y'all, people will start trying to kill themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They,
So they're not about to be dealing with that. You know, it'll be a grand reset in the simulation because everybody know what the simulation about. Some people ain't gonna want to play, and they know what happens. You know, once you clock out of it, because it's hard to get rid of you. Like you can't if you can move something on your body without thinking about it. If you can do it, then it's you.
yeah.
But if you got to think about it before it moves, whether it's your eye, whether it's looking left, whether looking right, whether get up, whether sit down, whether it's get on the toilet, well, whatever, then it's not you because you're telling it.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because it's like you almost like I always feel like that every day now. Like all my thoughts that I have, they never was mine. I'm just taking the
Mm-mm.
thoughts of somebody else that existed before me that I took and I said that sounds good, and I said I'm gonna use that, and
Yeah,
I put it
our
inside my
existence.
program.
Yeah, our existence was already mapped out, and we make a choice. That's what I said earlier when I said none of us have our own thoughts. We make choices from the thoughts we get.
Yeah.
Like nobody can say they made up their own thought.
I
To
can
make
make
sure you
conscious
get there
thoughts in my
tomorrow.
head. That's different than thinking.
You know, well, like to hear what to hear a thought is not to you don't have to think to hear a thought. Thinking is when you concentrate on a thought.
A thought is nothing
So
but
you
an
don't have to
echo. A thought is
you don't
nothing
have
but
to
an
hear.
echo, though.
Yeah,
Have
but
you ever
yeah,
asked your
you don't.
brain for a random thought and just wait for an answer?
But see, even in that moment, you're
Thoughts
asking
trouble the trip all the
get the
time.
thought of
Just
you
think,
asking
baby.
it. The thought of you asking it
Now,
came before you asked it. Something gave you that thought before you even did it. You
oh,
didn't do it because you heard it.
this is a good
You
one, Nabi. Awoken one, Nabi said, I have two cats, and it's like they have conversations just by staring at each other.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they can, pick up on their body languages, and I'm pretty sure, because we can do it. We do it.
Yeah.
We be at the club with our homeboys or something like that. We know how to get that look like, man, I'm ready to get out. I ain't said a word. And next you know you do like, yeah, we about to get up out of here. Or your woman, you may be somewhere with your woman and she give you that look, she ain't said a word. You know what I'm saying? But you know that look means she tired, man. She ready to get up in the morning. Dang, she didn't even say all those words. Yeah, but that's what that look means. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
you
Or you might be at the club looking for a female, and y'all might look at each other and give each other that look, like, "Yep, it's you."
right. It's the language, so animals. I'm pretty sure they know how to look at each other and communicate in some form of fashion. Then they got those antennas, those whiskers, So yeah,
It always
they're
trips me out because when you look at an ant colony, it's like the motherfuckers just automatically know what to do by touching each other. I don't know what vibrations they send to each other, but they just exactly know what part to play within the colony. They don't second
Yeah,
guess what they doing.
because they ain't got. They all got to do the same thing.
Yeah, which
They
is
don't get to.
fucking
They don't get to
crazy.
experience life. Insects don't get to experience life like mammals.
But what
Only,
if they
only.
are doing stuff like that, but they're just so locked in on their thinking that they just think they gotta move like that. Like that is their thinking. Like they passing thoughts on to each other maybe. Like maybe if they it's probably not English words or even jibber jabber, but through chemical senses and ideas and
Yeah,
imaginations.
but
Like it's a lot of nonverbal people that got
it
ideas
it'd
too
be
that
wild
don't
though,
talk.
just Ty, because we'll be in the same colony, but you'll come out, you'll be an army ant, and I'll be an ant that just look after the fucking colony of the kids or the ones we stole or something.
I don't. Yeah, I think when it comes to those, like the insects and stuff like that, I think they move like a colony, like a cult. So
Yeah,
culture, like a cult. So that means that they're probably all only hearing the voice of the queen.
yeah,
Like they don't have
Hmm.
and
the
and
message.
they and that's how they know. So that's why it look like they're all moving in a line like that because they don't have their own thought. They moving off her thought. So when you see the army and you see them marching, at that moment they marching, they moving like a colony, like a culture. Because they can't move with their own thoughts. Like, man, I'm gonna do the ham bone while I go down the line with my gun. Nah,
That's why Beyonce called herself the Beehive or the Bayhive. Do what I do, dance how I dance.
because they're coach. You know, there's some weird phenomenons around us.
Defend me
That,
against every award
like
show, even though I don't deserve it.
insects, they more like the coat. You know,
That's a real thing.
mammals are more tribal. Serpents don't have sympathy or empathy, and that's only because they don't see their mother or father when they're born. So so when you dealing with one of the species that don't see the mother or the father when they're born, they're gonna be more skeptical. So, when you got the fish in the water, when they have babies, it's the same way. But the mammal aquatic things in like the whales and all the mammals, they see a parent and all that. So when when the snakes and all them are born, and the turtles and the frogs and all these guys are born, they born into a world of every man right then and there the instinct of survival. So they don't have the empathy, you know, like when a rattlesnake bites you, he's not evil. He just never had the empathy that a baby gorilla had, or a mother, a bird that brings the worm to her baby bird. That reptile don't know nothing about that, so it's not gonna have no sympathy or no empathy. So just stay back.
And you know what's
Okay.
weird though, Nobby? It's weird because it seemed like we use all these tactics in one. Like
Hmm.
we use touch, smell, taste, hearing, eyesight. We use everything, and like the ants are used just like pheromones, or like they use like not as much as we do when it
Right.
comes to moving around the colony. Like we
Right.
use so many other different things, and then damn, we got like the thought of bad things to happen. Ants, they ready just to attack if some shit happen.
Right. See, back then, when we was just
Seven
more like
senses.
when we was like a community, or the hip hop community, and we was tribal, it was different than it is now. Now that it's cultural, uh, we don't have, like, the business is going down because since it's cultural, they putting stars in the same boat as dudes that's not stars, and they all going for the same. So there's no divide in stars and non-stars anymore. So it the mystique of it and everything. So now that they're a culture is not going to have diversity, just like insects don't have diversity. So now that it's a culture, there'll be no diversity. So they're only going to have like one or two to three top rappers. when it used to be before culture, there would be 20, 30 top rappers out at one time when it was just the hip hop community or when it was just rap. It was 20 or 30 rappers out at the same time. But since they made us squeeze it into a culture, we you know, it's only two or three that gonna
Top
eat from
ones.
that.
Top ones.
Mm-hmm.
You get to talking. Like I was talking to my mom. She was trying to explain to me. She was like, "You know the one dark skinned rapper that's popping off." I didn't know who the hell she was talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
She was talking about Kendrick
yeah,
Lamar though.
yeah. Right, right, right.
It's like I
That's
don't
what I'm
know his
saying.
name. I'm like, you gotta explain Mo. I'm like Lil Wayne. I'm like, who the hell are you talking about? You say dark
Right,
skin, it's like it's a gang of dark skin rappers I listen to. Mozzie?
right,
Like Mozzie, she
right,
like,
right.
no, you know the one that's popping right now. I'm like, Kendrick. She like, yeah, him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? He's doing, when Kendrick, you go back to the album before all this, to the Big Stepper, and
Yeah,
the one before that, he was it was a more of a national Kendrick. But now what we're getting is a culture Kendrick. It's different.
do you
He's
think he
different.
like? Do you think he changing the game almost like Tupac was trying to do, but like on a different level?
Mm, uh, let me see. Because when we was young, how we looked at, I would say, yeah, he the difference in him and Tupac was is that Pac touched every scenario that when it comes to a struggling man or a man that's just barely making it to the baller man to the every black scenario you can think of, he touched on it somehow. And that's what makes Pac unique. Now, I believe that Kendrick in his generation to his people is definitely of that same, you know, just how I see the young people and how they feel about him is kind of like that same thing. And but he's going to be able to take it further than Pop took. You know what I'm saying? Because he's alive. He's alive.
Yeah,
And Pop passed when he was 25, 26, and Kendrick's in his 30s.
yeah, Kendrick
So
going. He going
Kendrick
and he
going.
trying to he really trying to reach people. I don't know. It seemed like he trying to wake people game up at the same time while he giving them what they feel like they want. But it's like I'm giving it to you, but at the same time I'm trying to make you look at it and go, that shit is wrong.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
Yeah, some classic Boondocks type stuff.
Yeah.
They can be using Kendrick too. There's a flip side to this because they can be using Kendrick, to try to push Drake out, because there is a day the streams and all that stuff.
Okay.
That's how you know it's
Since
dangerous with streams. Streams make it dangerous because people don't be having the impact that and they'll have the streams like Kendrick really impact the West Coast with like us and all that, and but then there'll be other dudes that have close streams to that, and there's no impact, and that's why I said I can't really go off streams and all that. I got
yeah.
to go off of how the humans respond. You
Okay,
know,
so what you think about this, right? This is something I was always thinking about. Now that I'll be on TikTok and doing all the little shit. Like Nabi, you remember when we was young, right? Let's say this
right?
the early '80s, this like the late '70s, early '80s. Remember when everybody couldn't dance like us?
Mm-mm.
The, remember
No,
remember they had white men can't jump.
right,
They couldn't
right.
even like now it's like you go on TikTok you see everybody with the moves and you like what I'm like what the fuck like I remember a time you didn't see this shit.
I know, I know. I don't. I like I remember one time I was on here and I was asking Alexa about the mothership, and she was talking about in about a couple of weeks and all that. Then next, at all these drones and stuff in Jersey and all this stuff showing up, and it was weird how she when we asked her like when would the mothership be here, and she answered it. It was crazy, like in a couple of weeks, and it was like that's some, and I think it's a mothership of drones that are going to be used to. It's the government's way of. I think they're locking down on people um, with those drones. They're not just drones. I think they're locking down.
Yeah, my neighbor just showed me a little thing, basically saying, showing that they was talking about doing, the government was talking about doing this. Like I'm talking about, it was like I think that shit said like fucking 2000 and something, the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like we gonna do this, and then we got the Project Blue Beam and different other things, and I'm just like, whoa, bro, where you get this information from?
Yeah. Because
Yeah, Project
they,
Bluebeam.
they want to
Yeah.
take us to. That's why they wanted everybody to be computer literate. Even though they had computers in the '60s, they didn't really start letting us see them until the late '70s.
Yeah.
By '86 or something like that, they had them in our school, but they had already had it. So they got some stuff, man. They got some stuff, man. Our
That
government
shit,
got some stuff.
that shit is funny though. When you go back and you watch the older movies with computers, that shit had you kind of laughing, because it's like they knew what they was doing or where they was getting at, because they was already there, but they was giving you like the concept of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
Because a lot of people back then, the way it's like writing a book but not having the right pencils and stuff like that. But you already know how you want this book to be written. They just got to invent the right technology for it to work. But you see people, like a lot of people that worked on those Star Trek shows, they had scientist friends and stuff that was in the field, or themselves was scientists. Like everybody that worked on Futurama, they had some kind of degree in a scientific or mathematics field that was right in the
But
show.
hey, but think about this, Ty. How old is your mom's, Ty?
51.
See, now is she trying to change
In the
from her
past,
from the old school ways to the new school ways?
a little bit, only in the past couple years.
I'll be like, hey man, I ain't fuck that technology.
Yeah. No,
Mm-hmm.
she's trying though. She's a little different. She trying. It's more for social things, trying to reach out, trying to start a business and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, yeah. My mom,
Yeah,
she's up there.
you gotta be computer literate. I'm 54, and so you gotta be computer literate because that's how the world. There's going to be a new language, a new an additive, from Earthling to humans to mankind to the AI brother.
But I
You
am
know.
talking to somebody though, working with somebody, and he was alive during the 50s and stuff, and school in the 60s. Some of his friends invested in Google and all of that. And he
Damn.
was like, yeah, I didn't want to do none of that. I just was a farmer, wanted to do my stuff. And, and now I'm helping him out with computers and stuff. But he actually went back to school and to finish off an old degree or something. Now that he got time on his hand. And he said, it's all technology everywhere. I got to relearn everything. Like,
Yeah,
it's not even real chalkboards anymore.
yeah.
Man.
They making everything fucking complicated, even cars. I remember when I had that damn Mitsubishi Outlander, and the guy when he was selling it to me, he was like, "This, it got the equivalent of 17 cell phones in it," and I'm like, "Why?" Like fucking why? Like I ain't, you can't call nobody.
Right.
17 cell phones.
Yeah, like the equivalent, the technology in it is the
Oh,
equivalent
oh,
of
oh.
17 cell
Gotcha.
phones. Meaning, if
Right.
anything, it's gonna tell you whatever is wrong with the car, this and that, your tire
Uh-huh.
low. That it's everything, and
No,
it's
it's gonna
like
tell you you can't fix it and need to take it to the shop. Don't touch me. Don't.
exactly. You ain't fixing nothing. You can do an oil change. That's it. And
Yeah. I just seen a man online. His Tesla or something just smashed into a wall or something. It's crazy.
oh
His
damn,
Tesla driving itself or something.
visual
Yeah.
for everything.
Yeah, they got this set up, man. They want to get to my grandkids. They want to get them to that space age.
Yeah, they gonna get them there.
So they got to
But
make the world technical. And so to make AI smart, we got to become the podcast. So we get in the pod and we cast our likeness onto line so that
Hey,
the iCloud can get it and feed the AI, and then it becomes like human nature. Only because we got into the pod and casted our likeness, the podcast. So yeah. Mm-mm. Right. Right.
virus don't sit with one human. If it travels from human to human, like it don't matter what it is, it travels from human to human. Humans do the same thing. We're trying. If we can just travel from planet to planet, it'll be like the same. Let's go fuck up that. And who knows how many planets we didn't really been on?
That's what I'm saying.
That's something we
That's
don't
what.
know.
Mm-hmm. We could have been jumping forever.
Forever.
Um,
mhm.
hmm Been jumping. Like, oh,
So
here's one.
yeah, let's
Give it
go
a
this way.
story. Give it, you know,
What's up, UL?
like that movie Island. Have you ever seen that movie, The Island? I mean, it's a series on Netflix. It's called The Island, and they got these people. They in jail, but somehow they got them sleep, and they think they on this island for real. And
Yeah, that's a good show.
hmm um, it's like that type of situation, like being able to tap into one's existence to where you can create then the reality that it perceives. Because that's what we are, existence. So
Existence
just
itself.
you, yeah, we existence itself. So you know, all this is happening from air, blood, water. And then looking through our eyes.
Whole movie.
It connects us to it. That's how I see you. You see me. That we're just existence itself having different experiences. So when I see you, I think you not me. You think I'm not you, but it's the same existence.
Hey, that's what they was like really trying to tear on Billy Carson on when he kept saying he
Yeah.
was God. He was like, "I'm
Oh man.
God, you God," but they was going, "See, he think he God." I said, "Why do they always do that? Like when you
Oh,
say I'm God and you are God at the same time, they try to make it seem
Right.
like you're saying you're God or you are the God, the number one God.
Right.
That's why
Right.
you doing what you doing." And it's like, nah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that
Right.
energy that is God is existing within me as just like it's existing within you.
Yeah, it has to be because we are existent. We are existence.
but we gotta admit though, it does play off a little way just how words work in
Yeah,
people's mind. Cause in some people's mind, they've been told since they was born that God is something so much higher than any physical thing that they just long for that thing. So
Yeah.
everything they working for, why they disciplining themselves. So then if somebody else say I'm God, they like, I ain't disciplining myself for you. Like, who you think you are?
Yeah.
So they miss out just on that level.
Yeah, that's how I look at it too, Ty. They don't,
Yep.
but it's like, because I had conversations with people, they be like, "Well, you think you God, so it's like, see, I don't even like to say that. People
We
kind of
are.
lose it.
There's a
Like, well, he said that a million times in the song, but I ain't hear him say it in person really. But when you people that know him, they know what he feel like.
Yeah,
there's definitely a connection with us and the source because you know we look history. While we talked about our creators, and even in the stories of our creators, in from the whichever Bible you bring up, it speaks of the creator and the creators. It doesn't speak about the inventors because if you think about when it says in the beginning was the word with him, it didn't say he invented it. When he said he saw the firmament, it didn't say he invented it.
yeah. Don't say that.
He's the great
He
remixer.
The
he
great me.
he lifted the firmament, these things. So he couldn't created it, but there could be an inventor. That means someone that is he looks at as a high authority himself. But he was given authority to create, even though he's not the inventor of
Yeah,
his
Hmm.
creation.
That's like Elon Musk. They be like, "Oh man, Elon sending all these rockets into space. He sure is a smart guy. He not building the rockets himself, making every rocket design. There's hundreds of scientists in there that dedicated
Right,
their lives to the art form
definition.
of sending
right.
rockets into space and
Because
dreamt
Yeah.
he's the
about that
creator.
day."
UL
Because he's
said they don't want to live in a symbolic relationship. You're always trying to devour one to move on to the next. The definition for God that a lot of people use is the Lord. The Lord means in authority over them, and they don't want to give you that authority, even if they do willingly or not.
right. Because even to this day in London, Lord is someone who is the owner of the land or the owner of the property, and so they consider him the Lord. Even in America, we call them landlord. So Lord.
Landlords.
So the Lord was someone who was the owner of the land or the owner of the property. So, when you hear about the Lord, you know, thy God, when somebody say that, they're saying the owner of the land and the property. So that person that is saying that they're the Lord, there's a lot of people that were considered lords back then, but it didn't make them the inventors. And so because creators create all type of stuff but don't invent nothing. Like you gotta recognize that Ford never had a toolbox, never owned a toolbox, but he's the creator of how the automobile Ford turned out, even though he didn't invent none of the parts. So in some cases there could be creators and inventors. So they say, "Come, let us make man in our image." One's going to create it. One's going to invent. One's the inventor. One has the microscopic science. The other one has the macro science. And they say, "Let us do this, do that." So when someone say, "Let us do this and let us do that," those are commands. So that means that it's talking to something. So it can be the inventor, and so the, we don't know who the inventor is. But
Yeah,
one
because
thing's for
that's
sure.
because in there didn't it said the Earth was already here, if I ain't mistaken, unless I'm wrong. But I thought it was saying the Earth was already here, and it was certain things that he made to make the Earth livable or some shit. And and then really, like, does it even matter who created it at this point?
Nope. Nope. Just like it don't matter who came up with a lot of ideas when you go back. It's just how it's being used today and what can we do now? Because it's all just, in a way, the collective consciousness or whatever all of this is working together
Hey, Mike,
for a high, for some,
building.
for like a
This is
perp, for
burning.
whatever that thing is. We could say purpose from this level.
Yeah, yeah, but everybody like every dang, what did you call it, Navi? Every sect is gonna come out with they own understanding of who did it and what they did it for, and you should follow us because we know the truth.
And we got nice colors.
Yeah,
We
we
rep.
got nice colors. Look at this. Look at this suit. My Steve Harvey suit, which is wild to think about. That shit is wild to think about, bro. Cause I think that's what I listen to. Like even now, bro. Like I get on them Ty. When I get on my little things, I don't listen to nothing no more. Like I remember, I used to listen.
Take off
Blast
music.
Ram. Yeah, I know. I'll blast Ram Doss. I'll blast Terrence McKenna, and it's like, God damn, you feel me? Like, okay, why am I trying to be everybody else so much? Why am I trying to be that person or that aspect of that person that I like? Why am I trying to be that aspect of that person that I like? When did
Yeah.
I get out of being I really want to be? Like, are these the things that I want to be, or this is what everything telling me I should be or I need to be?
It it is just like being in class and then finally like going out going out into the world, and like all those teachers and stuff, they did do a lot, but the point wasn't to take their position. Some people try to take their position and wear the same clothes like them and stuff like that, or talking their speech pattern coming for their spot. Like I'm the
Yeah,
next Michael Jordan or I'm the next Terrence
yeah,
McKenna and stuff like that.
yeah,
Of it's just like the rapping too. People not finding, like, it's fun. It's what we can do. Like if people, a lot of people don't have original sounds. I was watching Dr. Dre say, and I hear myself like, oh, that sound good. I know I got the energy to recreate that. And the kind of lifestyle similar, I can exaggerate or do whatever I got to do. But it's already out there. It works. I feel good when I listen to it. So that's what I want to recreate. And that, is always somebody in the back of the room that's like, oh, if they just like push a little farther, or if they did like they can really be their own person, like they can really
yeah.
be the Michael Jackson or something like that, as opposed to just somebody trying to sound like
Exactly. You'd
him.
be like, yeah, he sound like whoop de whoop. And then just because you got that sound, though, a lot of people will listen for the
You
time
even listen
being.
to yourself.
Yeah,
You be like,
because you got that sound. But even if it's with music, there's a style of music or a genre of music that you listen to that made you come out with the flow that you had.
mm-hmm.
It's
And a lot of
somebody
people
that you
scared to even
studied.
break it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That means I'm messing up.
What's up,
How about
Velvet?
you about to discover something new? That's why I listen to this artist still. It's not a rapper, but Bjork. She's from Greenland or something like that. But she's a singer that a lot of other singers appreciate, because even if they don't like shout her out all the time, because she's like a person that does her own vocal range, period. It sounds like a child until you really like pay attention at first and
Oh,
see that she actually paying attention to everything that's going on, and she even make the instrumentals. And when you're on like a good dose of mushrooms to start off with and you tune in, is you see the space that she's in when she's creating those songs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
just like
damn.
letting it go, trying something new. Look, I know I could do this falsetto like this, but I'ma just let go like this in this kind of voice, just like a
Computer. All
kid.
right, Velvet. I'll check it out. Yeah,
Like, why
just
do
like
every rap
kid.
song start with yeah, yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
uh-huh, yeah?
Yeah. That's how you do before you start freestyling. Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying though. You ain't even said nothing yet. Like I was saying though, that's how master creators start. Yeah, yeah. Like I was saying though. Like you ain't even said nothing yet. Stop. Just stop.
Hold up, hold up, hold
Yeah,
up.
hold up. Hold up. Try to catch the beat.
Just catch it, bro. Just catch it.
All right, I
Cause they
got
used
you.
to say that to
Velvet.
me all the time. My friends used to say, "We know you got some thoughts up in there. Let them out. Just let them out." And I would be hearing though, and I just a lot of times in the back, I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah. It's kind
Like
of
teenage
weird because
years.
yeah, over time you find when you find your sound, you kind of get attuned to yourself and be like, oh, okay, this it right here. I've been trying to rap like Tupac all this time. If I sound like Tupac, they gonna like me. Hey, you be juiced though when they say, "Man, I listened to that song, man." You on there, you know what? You a little bit sounded like Kodak Black. You be
I
juiced.
did.
I
I
did.
did.
Oh shit, I'm on to something. It's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You on Kodak Black shit. But yo,
That's how it be.
yeah,
That's how
yeah.
a lot of people out here with the shikis and talking in certain mannerisms on TikTok and
Reincarnated.
YouTube and
I'm gonna
shorts and
start.
stuff. I
Yeah,
have the answer. You ever experienced the other side? You ever thought you heard other people's thoughts and
yeah. Hey, everything,
it is a
everything
good
that's kind
entry
of
point.
getting, everything that's kind of getting shared is getting. It's like some reincarnated shit. It's like just regurgitated, reincarnated, or whatever you want to call it. It's just
You see when
over and
people
over.
popped in, so to speak.
Yeah. It's like, man, goddamn. But hey, that I ain't gonna lie, that Kendrick Lamar reincarnated song do slap though. It is a slapper. Reincarnate mustard. No, it's like what the fuck? Just be saying some wild shit.
That's what I'm learning. When you can talk in the tongue of the people and you really trying to relate. I mean, you're really doing your thing because you're not just being selfish in ways, and you're noticing the maze of the mind in many aspects. Like
He
you're
said,
having fun, being serious.
yeah. UL said a lot of that comes from how life forms built themselves up here. If it looks like a sound, like a smells like a taste, alike, it's more acceptable. Yeah, exactly. If you got that sound or you got that taste, it's like when the shine dropped, and then other people started sounding like him. Like dang, what's the one Mexican guy? Is
I don't mention Mexican music. I'm sorry. They on the radio, they all sound the same. I live in
baby
Chico. They. Woo. It's like hearing 808 drums every day.
every day. Yeah, yeah. But when you mix it together, that shit do be sounding good though.
No, it do in the moment. It's just the
It do.
same exact rhythm a lot of times.
Yeah, they
This
they taking the rap 808s and they putting that shit in country music right now. Like if you go all the way back, I know you seen Beat Street.
yeah.
Remember when she was like a ballet dancer and she went to the street and she grabbed the street dancers and she brought them in and started having them do ballet? Like, well, mix the ballet in with the break dancing. They was taking the break dancing, mixing it in with the ballet. The same thing with breaking. They did the same thing on breaking. She was a ballet dancer. They was street dancers. And the ballet dancers started taking the little, little shit that they was doing and mixing it in with their ballet.
You got to. Got
It's
think
like,
from a
yeah,
choreographer perspective.
yeah, you got to. They do
Yeah.
it now even with TikTok. TikTok, then, yeah. I said, God damn, man. It's like shit is just a replay, bro. It's the fractal universe. It's the
That's how
fractal
Mickey Mouse
universe.
took over.
I was
Mickey Mouse.
watching. Did you watch that?
Which one? What happened?
The one where they talked about the basically Mickey Mouse and how he changed over time into what he is now.
Oh, I seen a couple like that. I was mostly thinking about how Disney stole all their early stories from older stories and made it their own, and then other people didn't even know the other ones existed. And then they just went and took over and then started buying ESPN eventually and Fox and everybody
Yeah,
else. So
yeah, yeah. Man, Velvet Wind said one day I asked myself, what was the very first song created? Who sang it? Well, the very first song you heard and who created it? It's like some of the country singers have the rap swag to them. Yeah, hell yeah, hell of the country singers got the rap swag. Man, they be country line dancing to rap music. I seen some, I seen, man, I seen, look, it was a gang of white people in the backyard with cowboy hats on and shit listening to Mac Dre. And I was
stepping
like,
in line too.
man, they was like, man, and they hit the line, Master Creator, and I charged my bitch like an ATM card. Everybody said it in the motherfucking party. I said, God damn. Listening to Mac Dre, but I say, yeah, it's all over the place right now. That's dope though. That's dope. They still on the strip from the from the awoken one. They still in there. They switching up everything, bro. It's all getting intertwined. It's the fractal universe. Hey, 1,000 years from now, they ain't gonna know who fucking created the Thizzle dance. It's gonna be a white dude. It's gonna be a white dude with dreads. Tell me, can you do the Thizzle dance? Everything is changing, bro. Big, big Cuban links with big pendants, yeah. That's why the East Coast and the Southern rappers basically connected with a lot of country singers and those songs. Like the Tootsie Roll became country songs as well. Yeah. Yeah. That one song with what's the name? The damn, what is that song called, bro? The whiskey song. It's not. It's the one
Take
dude from
another shot of whiskey. Everybody in the club, whiskey
Oh no,
fountain.
not him, not him, not him. I'm talking about the one with what's the dude? I keep forgetting his name. He from Yo Gotti camp. The one who came out with the Scissor song, the purple, the purple stuff and shit. With the what was her name? Rakisha.
Yeah, sure.
He came out with the Rakisha song and he was like, dang, I forgot how the shit go, bro. But he dropped that country song. That shit is smacking on the radio all the time. All the time. It's not the double shot of whiskey. You made me now I'm all on Shabuzi. That's who that is, Ty. That's Shabuzi.
Shaboozle.
Yeah, Shabuzi. My daughter seen him. My daughter took pictures with him at Knott's Berry Farm. Shabuzi. But I'm talking about dang, I keep every time his name come to my mind, I fucking it slip. It just yeah, Moneybag Yo. Moneybag Yo. Got the one
Huh.
country
I heard
song. And that shit slapped.
They all started with Nelly.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot about Nelly and his country songs. Even wasn't Beyonce into country songs? Velvet, you bet not make
She
a
made
video about Beyonce.
she made a whole album, country album.
Yeah. Yeah, Nelly back in the day. Hey no, I'm saying you bet not make a video about Beyonce. Only talk about Jay-Z. Y'all get off of Beyonce. She ain't even do nothing. She ain't even know. She snorted a little coke, allegedly. Allegedly.
At least she did.
Like all of them just got big nostrils. That's how they just move. I'm just saying. But it is gonna be dope when they get all the motherfuckers that was doing weird shit up out of the music industry, and they begin to take over. I think that's what social media is fucking up. That's why they trying to get rid of TikTok, if you ask me, because anybody can make it on TikTok. Any musician. You don't even need a record company at all in order to make it big on TikTok. You don't need a record company. You don't need all the big guys. Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna make 10
Yeah,
cents.
the big guys need TikTok. They telling their artists to go on TikTok and make videos.
Yeah, because they gonna get paid from it.
And that all that exposure.
And they gonna get that money back. They trying to make that money back. They loaned your ass.
Well, look at Soldier Boy.
Oh, Soldier Boy always on TikTok.
Well, I mean, like he made it. Wasn't he on SoundCloud? His music, that one single, or what was it on YouTube?
Yeah, damn, I forgot the Draco one.
The very first one that blew Soldier Boy up.
Oh yeah, yes.
Oh,
The
that was
Soulja
on
Boy.
LimeWire.
Hit that Superman like, whoa, that shit was fire. He's still making money off that song.
Probably.
He's still making money off that song. Crank that Soldier Boy. That's Master.
He on everything.
That's Master Creator favorite rapper.
I know
Master
he
Creator
subscribed to his OnlyFans.
Yeah. He got all his albums. He got all the Master Creator got all the Soldier Boy albums.
But Soldier Boy did have one. I found out. I was cracking up. I said, you really are on everything.
Yeah, he is. He is. He is, but he done wrote a lot of shit for people too. At that, I think that's what got him, is he wrote a lot of shit for people.
Yeah, publishing would take you far. Credit.
Ain't it weird though? Like once they get in the industry and they get out, they find out that okay, damn, I can make my own money.
Yep. Yeah, like they didn't. You think they thinking that the whole time, but they really just be in it, like for like a young person or whatever.
Yeah, just be tied in.
And then they're like, oh, I actually can sell my own shirts now, or I can do this. Like I would have been thought about that, but that's just because we learned from them.
Yeah.
All you hear it, gonna feel like this, gonna wanna give it all up.
He always live on TikTok though. So I think
yeah, he be battling. He be with regular people and everything.
Yeah, just chilling. Just chilling.
You know, I was listening to Waka Flocka, and he said Soldier Boy gave him his tagline to say Flocka in every song.
For reals?
Yeah, he said Soldier Boy said he heard me say it in one song. He said just keep repeating that shit, just drill it into their head.
Waka Flocka Flame.
When he said soldier, he said yeah. When he said soldier, like I liked it.
Like Mike Jones. Like Mike Jones. Mike Jones. Every goddamn song. This nigga even gave
like
his
Pikachu.
phone number out. Pikachu too. Yep, Pikachu. That's all Pikachu say.
Pikachu been having fans in the club.
said he made me be from Atlanta, then to Pyru later. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that shit was funny though when he tried to put his arm around dude's neck and dude was gonna punch him like, "Hey, soldier boy, you tripping?"
He
He
was
took
from
off,
Cali.
yeah, he took off his chain and shit and put it down. I said, "Hey, you really tripping? You gonna take your phone and everything and put it down around some niggas you really don't even know like that?"
He said, "I put in work on the Discord
Back
for
then
my
they
big
didn't
homie
know
True
me.
Life
Yeah,
Story."
Black Jones. Nah, he was yelling out blue flame. He said it's blood, but this blue flame on mine. I was on TikTok. He said, "You know my homie Theo?" I was like, "Yeah, I know Theo."
Who said that?
Soldier Boy.
Oh, oh yeah, bro. So
Soldier
back in the
Boy
day, we
told
had
me.
a group called Ocean Gang. We had a group called Ocean Gang. I was part of this group. It was like me and my homie Skate God from Seattle and Cartier God from Atlanta, people from Ohio, all
Yeah.
over the place, like all over the country. But Soldier Boy came in and he was like, "Splash." He started stealing the whole thing. And he turned the whole thing. He started to fly out some of the members because this guy, Young God of Texas, was a wizard with the
He said he was a wizard.
with the like his songs are pure wizardry with like it's like a joke song, but it's like dead serious. He's a wizard, kind of like Lil B, but he was on some next level stuff.
I
But
said that
yeah,
shit.
Soldier Boy
Hey,
liked him, so he tried to fly out some of them, and then all of a sudden he just created the clothing line Ocean Gang, and then it was over with. No more Ocean Gang, just Soldier Boy.
just Soldier Boy took over. I'm
And he
telling you.
sold the clothing line, moved on to the next.
Moved on to the next. That was, hey, that's how you see it. That's how that shit be happening. Cause I know I started a couple of groups that I know is still flying. I ain't even gonna say their names. Probably on a later date, you look them up and be like, "Oh shit, yep, that's it, that's it." That shit is crazy. What's up with it though, Blue Flame? Exile in the building.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Salute.
I know I'm about to head out, y'all. It's already coming on 2 hours. Yeah, I gotta get up early. God damn. Be trying
All
to
right.
stay up late.
Nice show.
Yeah, be trying to stay up late. Knowing I don't like to get up in the morning. I hate mornings.
That's why I give my night person some good. My night person gets ready for that
But he
that
put
morning time for real.
Space Ghost Perp. I ain't never heard of him. Yeah, all right, Theo, Exile,
All right,
Ty.
yo.
All right. And all right, y'all on the live, man. I'm about to go lay it out. All right, Velvet, Woken One, Master Creator, ET, everybody else out there, y'all have a good night. And yeah, I'll tap back in tomorrow. I'll be back early tomorrow, though.